Hi everyone, it's Ray. So I had to take an impromptu hiatus because I had a lot of feels and I need to take a step back and recharge. And I also kind of sort of need to plan the rest of my life because in like 2 weeks I'm supposed to be moving back to the East Coast. But here I am. I'm back in Minnesota. I got some nifty glasses. Being able to see is wonderful. And I'm officially a year older because my birthday was a few days ago. And whenever my birthday comes around, I just feel like really old. No matter how old I actually am. Like when I turned 12, I thought I was like gonna die soon because it was like I'm getting old. Um, but yeah, so I just like wanted to put some basic concepts in the air because I realized like I tend to like deal with people saying like racist or problematic things and like really like simple like kind of chill ways now. I've like given up on engaging in like long heated like arguments, typically on social media like or Facebook. Like I like to be really clever. I think this is possibly because of Twitter where you only have like 140 characters to like make a statement. Especially or less than that if you're trying to at someone, right? So like this person was all up on my Facebook status, and I was like, "Yo, bro, like why don't you just dance your whiteness somewhere else?" And suddenly he was like, "What are you talking about?" And I'm like, "I'm not going to engage you. Like, I'm not going to spend like 25 minutes sitting here having an argument with you about racism, because what normally happens in a situation is you're like, yo, this is racist, or yo, this is classist, or yo, this is homophobic, or yo, this is anti-black. What normally happens in that is me like trying to defend that, and you at the end of it still being like, I don't think so, and I'm just like, I'd rather like save myself some time and energy and like not be angry. And I like actually like at one point I was like, what's really sad is I'm not about to get back the 20 seconds I spent reading your response. So like let it go, right? So yeah, I just want to put like a few basic concepts in the air for people who are in more privileged positions. First basic concept, you don't get to decide what is or is not cultural appropriation. This kind of goes along the lines of you don't get to decide what someone else's oppression looks like either. Um, Real quick story. I was talking about dreads or locks. Actually, someone told me not to use the term dreads, but I was talking about locks, which is traditional and black hairstyles. And someone was like, actually, I don't think so. Like, like if I don't comb my hair locks. And I'm like, actually, my hair also locks naturally. However, I have not made an intentional choice to have locks that come down, like long flowing locks. And white people who do that, they have made an intentional choice. That's not like, oh, I forgot to comb my hair. My hair is matted and locked. No, that's an intentional choice to appropriate culture. And this guy's like, I don't think so. And he like went through all of this like hoopla. Like he was working, y'all. He was like doing a lot of work. And I was like, you're still wrong. And like I just think you need to stop with all those mental gymnastics. Like all them kicks, flips and turns for nothing. Like I think you should stop before you sprain your logic. So just like you don't get to decide what is cultural appropriation of blackness when you just like aren't black. Two, if you say the phrase not to be blank, but that could be racist, that could be sexist, that could be homophobic. Chances are what you are about to say is going to be that. Someone says, well, like, not to be ageist, but you'll understand this when you're older. And I was like, you're being really ageist right now. And you're making the assumption that my blackness will understand something in the way that your whiteness does. And quite frankly, that's just not true because unfortunately, I have to live in like a very different reality than you, right? Basic concept number three. If someone who does not share a privilege as you says, this is a part of this is a privilege, right? Like this is a privilege of being white, this is a privilege of being a man, this is a privilege of being wealthy. Um, it's not for you to decide that it's not a privilege. Once again, simple story. I posted a photo of this guy who's taking up he took up 3 seats on the subway and like we're on the 4 train and like pretty sure it was rush hour and people are like standing up. Homie's taking up 3 seats. And like he was like starting to encroach on a fourth seat, so a woman said something and then he like small made like he like then took up less space. Um but it was still like 2 seats. He was still taking up 2 seats. And I was like, look at this male privilege. And a slew of men are like, I don't see the male privilege in this. And I'm like, okay. A few women are like, actually, there's a lot of male privilege in this. A few non-binary folks, there's a lot of privilege in this. Men just like couldn't fathom how they had this privilege of like space. And I'm like, that is so interesting because I am thinking right now how much space you are taking up on my status with your mental gymnastics. You're doing, once again, all these kicks, turns, and flips, and you're saying you don't take up space. And that's not part of your male privilege. Think about your life. Those are just a few things a few reasons that my hiatus happened because I just need to take a lot of steps back and recharge. There's a lot going on, and like, I had a lot of feels around like people and the way like they like A, access my body, but B, like really just want to engage in conversations that are violent, right? Like just like actually violent. As a black trans person, when a white cis het person tells me like how I'm allowed to feel or what is and is not racist or what is and is not transphobic, I'm kind of like, yeah, no, like this is violent, right? Like you are literally telling me what my oppression can look like when you like don't have my experience. Like I actually had to tell someone, "Hey, I don't think you can talk to me about being a black woman. Like I don't feel like you can even begin to like tell me how black women feel because like I have a strong belief that you, as someone who now identifies as a white cishet man, has never been a black woman. Like I could be wrong, but like, science is on my side in this, that you've never experienced that identity. And he's still like, no, I don't think that matters. I'm like, okay. Like this is just violent, right? Like this is just really violent. Um, so yeah, just like think about that. Like I just at this point I really want people um for me it's often whiteness. It is often whiteness. But I really want people who are in privileged positions and myself included, to think about the way we take up space, um, and the way that we just feel like people who are not as privileged as us can we have access to them, and they're like constantly constant access to them. Like if they're posting something on Facebook or Twitter, and like the way that social media makes us believe that we can like constantly engage with someone, and just think about like how exhausting it is, right? Like I often like I'm really witty. I like to be witty on Facebook, um, on my personal Facebook, and they're often like very political statuses or like very like there's like some acknowledgement of like my oppression in different forms, but it's like witty or it's kind of like sarcastic. Like I do this cute thing where like I will subtweet you by saying like I am laughing at what this person just said. Um, so yeah, like but like then other people, instead of just liking it and moving on, thinks that like I have to address them and I have to have conversations with them and like I have to like let them process their feelings. And I don't, right? And I don't. And I don't I belong to me, right? I think there was a great comedian who said like lean the fuck away from me. And I just think that's an accurate statement. And I like want before we lean in, I want us to lean away and think about how much space and time and labor we are demanding from people who are less privileged than us because we want to work through our feelings, right? Just think about that. Um, I'll be back to posting regularly. I have a ton of like things that I want to talk about and so much shade, like just so much shade to throw. Like I'm just always down to throw shade. As long as I am breathing, like I mean, let's be real, I throw shade as much as I breathe. Like, that's who I am in life. I'm okay with myself. Yeah. So I'll see y'all later. Bye.